Don't even think about it, donkey. Are you alright as it goes? Oh, you're just being stabbed and cut a few times, you know. Oh, you don't have an arm. It's Rimworld. Welcome back to another day in Cauliflower Valley. Today, we need to fuel our brand new reactor. I forgot the word for it there for a second. It was a real moment. Yes, today we need to put some fuel together to feed into reactor type A and start actually using this to produce some electricity with. All the infrastructure's in place. All that's missing is the actual fuel. Change things around ever so slightly in here. No longer are we going to be storing an insane amount of steel. We're just going to be having a nice little pile of steel behind Huckett here, who's getting after it already, and then some uranium here too. What is Huckett building? Uranium pellets, of which we're going to need 70 times 30, because each one of these builds 30. And then from that, we'll make 21 uranium fuel rods, which we can then put into Reactor Alpha here. That's going to take a bit of time. It's going to be sort of a background task, if you like. We should be fine for electricity until then, though. We've got... Hang on. Grid excess is on a minus? Wait, what? Well, grid excess is on a minus, I guess. So we've reached the point of needing that power. Somehow. I'm actually shocked at that. But hey, you know what? That's fine. Whilst that's all going on, we have got some additional research that we can undertake within Rim Atomics. And to that end, we'll get started on energy weapons. High energy weapon systems, which will give us a dominant battlefield advantage. Apparently, it's going to cost us 500 silver to get after that, but hey, we'll purchase that and start that project, just to keep everybody busy. The long night is still here. We've had 19 days of darkness at this point, which is long indeed. That's more than a season, and the concern there is the fact that, you know, we can't currently grow anything of our normally full fields of corn and wheat and all of that good stuff are currently lying dormant because, well, with no sunlight means no plant life. The map itself is looking quite barren as well, and our food stockpiles are diminishing. It's got to be said they're diminishing. We will have enough corn and, well, nutrition, I suppose, once the sun comes back, but we don't know when that's going to be. As I said before, you know, 19 days have gone by, and there's not really anything we can do about it. They're all just living in darkness. How are they feeling about that? Nacho, how are you feeling about this? You're not really bothered at all, are you? Well, fair enough. Are you bothered apprehension? Do you care? No, you're more concerned. Oh, actually, no, you do. Look at this. You've been in the dark for a while and you don't like it. Yeah. So to solve that problem, I think we probably need a bit of hydroponics going on. Not loads of hydroponics, but certainly more than we presently have, which is, you know, nil. So I think we've got a bit of space here that we can use for hydroponics. And I think just one hydroponics bay will hopefully at least serve our purposes. Quite rare indeed that I use this, but I'm going to use the planning tool. That's going to be, in fact, maybe we want to. Let's have 2 hydroponics bays, sure, why not? But yes, rare use case for the planning tool. That's just going to give us an outline of where the walls need to go for the 2 hydroponics bays. We have got enough steel and enough components to put this together. So I suppose the only thing for it is to get after it, really, isn't it? Slowly but surely they get... I say slowly, they're not slow building at all. It's kind of been previously established that they're incredibly quick at building stuff here in Cauliflower Valley. We need a structure, we get a structure. But we're almost there. Just need those doors put together, and then... Are you kidding me, Huckett? Really? Continue on with the next generation, then. Why? Why would you do this to me? You know what? Do you know what? I'm not about this, actually. You know, you can have 1, but that's it. Now to slap down the tables. This is really going to eat into our power reserves that, as previously established, are looking a little bit worse for wear. But hey, what can you do about that, huh? We're just going to have to, you know, deal with it. That's the simple way of looking at life in general, actually, isn't it? Now, let's see here. That's going to take 24 components and 2,400 steel. So maybe we don't necessarily want to build this second one. I think we'll leave it here just in case, you know, we ever do have a need for it. I mean, once we've got the... Well, we can use it. We can use it as a potential expansion if necessary. Sure, that's the justification for building 2 and then deciding against having 2. Oh, good grief! What happened here? Oh, looks like a couple of travelers from the Imperium caught the ire of a timber wolf. Hey, you know what? We'll grab that for the food. And there we have 1 hydroponics bay. That's cost us an insane amount of steel, actually. That's just halved our steel reserve, which is nuts. We do still need to put the sun lamp in here. That's actually probably a good idea, because otherwise, you know, the whole endeavour's for naught. A short time later, and everything's good to go. I'm not necessarily certain that rice is the best thing for us to be growing in here. Typically speaking, for hydroponics and Rimworld, yes, rice is the right play. And I guess, you know, we'll run with that. Yeah, I guess for now we'll run with the rice. It is what it is. Although the rice would necessitate building another bay here, really, if we were to go with it. I think we'll leave it for now. 1,500 uranium pellets. We should probably consider actually getting some radiation detectors at some point. One thing at a time, right? For now, let's just focus on the energy weapons. Seeing as we've got that going on, we may as well. Speed that Lianlu has gone through these is something else. What's your crafting skill? 1324. Yeah. It's a good effort there, Lianlu. You know how to make things. And in actual fact, that's all of the uranium pellets done. So up next is the actual fuel rods, which are going to take slightly longer than the pellets, but hey. Power is definitely becoming an issue. We are beyond what we're generating now by a fair margin whenever that sun lamp is running. We've got 2 fuel rods now, so we might as well get those installed. And Farley here is going to be our reactor technician. So here we have our reactor control. And we may as well just plug everything in here. We're not going to start it up just yet. That's for damn sure. But here he comes, loading in the first fuel rod. And there it is. Although it's currently not powered. There we go. Now that the power's on, our first fuel rod is there, indicated by the blue light as present and accounted for. The reactor's currently dormant. We haven't, you know, started it yet. And there's the second. Well done there, Farley. Is there anything that we can't rely on you on when it comes to nuclear physics? Who would have thought? That's Stamati Farley Bardson here, the non-violent organ farm colony auditor misogynist. Who would have thought that he'd become the technician that we needed for our nuclear reactor? We will have to get him some radiation suits at some point, but we're fine for now. I'm sure we can manage. Our control panel is lighting up as well. Each blue light indicates that there's a fuel rod in play. Thinking about this power situation here, we're going to need power in order to generate power, you see. So maybe as an interim solution, we should probably just put down a second chem fuel power plant. This generates 4,000. Is that going to be enough? It will be at night time. Let's put down a single additional power plant, I think. Or maybe 2. We'll see how we get on with the 1 and then make that decision. So the weapons research bench takes up a fair amount of space. What I'm thinking of doing is decommissioning this holding cell. And in fact, I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to do it. And expanding the lab out into here instead. Our weapons research bench has been constructed, so the next step is for them to just start experimenting, which is fine. They can experiment once the building's finished. Building? The construction? What? The work that is currently being undertaken here is completed. Are the words that I was trying to find and failing at, apparently. Of course, Kalani waits for no man or beast and is straight in there, putting on a bit of a light show for us whilst Nacho and Huckett finish off the flooring. And Brenwan's here too. And that small chem fuel power plant should give us a bit more grid excess, although it's still not enough, interestingly. Well, it's up and down there, isn't it? It's very much up and down. I guess that's dependent on what's being used and when. Once the sun lamp switches off, we should start seeing a bit of recuperation overnight. They've already finished experimenting with those weapons. Good grief. Construct a semi-automated command station is next. Yeah, sure, we can do one of those. Really running out of space in the lab. But that's what it takes. And where do we build this thing is the real question. Because I'm going to assume it's another sort of size of these things, right? Atomics, sacks, there it is. Yes. Would be lovely to put it here, but it's slightly in the doorway there, isn't it? I'm really, really shocked, actually. Maybe we have to expand the lab. Do we still need that research reactor? We haven't used it in a while. We could always just build another one. Maybe that's the play here. Get rid of the research reactor and then expand the lab down this way. Yeah, and then if we do need another one, we can just pop it in here or something. Yeah, let's do that then. So get rid of you. Well, a short bit of time and remodeling later, and the SACS is completed. So now we need a TAX. Target Acquisition and Communications System. TAX, there it is. Oh, it's quite large. and needs to be unroofed. Okay, well, where can we put this thing down? Maybe here? This seems to be just, this is sort of like the hidden stuff, you know, the stuff that like is important for us to have. Yeah, I'm just going to put it here instead of trying to justify where I'm putting it. It's necessary stuff that no one really wants to look at. You know, we've got sewage, we've got water cooling, we've got water treatment. The boiler is here. And now the steel tax is here too. So that sewage has done a fair bit of a number on this ground here, hasn't it? My goodness. We're also slowly but surely reclaiming this land, which is quite nice. These are expanding ever so slowly. There are only 4 of them after all, so that'll be done when it's done though. And our reactor is slowly but surely filling up with fuel, which is absolutely wonderful to see. Just in time for another step to be completed. That'll be the tax, right? Sure enough, there we go. Now we need a PPC. Everything has abbreviations. The abbreviations are very important. A pulsed power container. Oh, we've seen one of these before, ages ago. There was like a ruin with one of these. It's like a big battery in it. Yeah, there we are. Well, batteries go here. Although, hey, look at how clever I am. We've been using these wood-fired generators for a very long time to generate power that's not connected to the grid. That's, well, you know what we can do? We can just get rid of them. We'll build the PPC in their place. Yeah, sure. There we go. PPCs go here and here. Perfect. I don't know that we need 2. 1 should probably be enough, but thank you for getting rid of my stupidity there, Rubber Buddy. Actually, you know what? I blame this entirely on Hooker, actually. She should have noticed. She should have said something. When you walk away from me, I've got the camera. Oh, it's all kicking off in here. Well, it's not. What are you doing? You alright? Adio data? Carrying your hand cannon and Molotov cocktails. Where are you from? You're from the Imperium. Fair enough. You alright? You're an adventurous dreamer. Ain't that something? Well, welcome to Cauliflower Valley. Yes, practicing with daggers. That's definitely what we talk about around here. Almost there. Good job. Are they connected to the grid? Yes, they're connected to the grid. Let's not make that mistake again. And Lianlu puts the finishing touches on it. There it is. It's a weird looking thing, but it has been finished. So there we go. And it's slowly but surely accumulating energy. Wow, it can store 6,000. Well, there we go. Energy weapons, complete. Which has unlocked a huge amount of extra research for us, which is great. I think control rod actuators increase the speed of the control rods, responsiveness of flux level changes, shutdown speed. That's probably going to be something that we want. It's going to need a research reactor. Of course, it's going to need a research reactor. Why wouldn't it need a research reactor? Let's rebuild the research reactor. That's going to be a fine place for a research reactor to go. Almost there. 8 more to go. Today is definitely a lab day. Hey, Zed's learning about crafting, I guess. Watching work be performed. Yeah, you've been studying the Lianlu's crafting there. Good job, Zed. Zed's actually coming along really well, you know. 7 cooking skill. He's tough. He's muscular. He's very, very intellectual as well. He has spent a lot of time watching Farley in particular, although Kalani's doing it now, but Zed did spend a lot of time watching Farley here. There's fires going on because of a thunderstorm. It's not a big deal. Crops. Wonderful crops. It is actually nice to be growing food again, I must admit. Our corn reserves are pretty low, although our rice reserves have gone up. We must have already had a harvest. That's awesome. Okay, research reactor completed. Control rod actuator. What's an atom? Upgraded module for the tax. Significantly increases power usage, but increases its range and scanning power. Detect threats at a much greater distance. Early warning system for potential attacks. That'll be handy to have. I think we'll go for the control rods first. Shuttle crash. Another one? It's Donkey and a Mind Flayer. Hello. What the devil are you? A Mind Devourer. I do apologize. It's not a Mind Flayer. It's a Mind Devourer. There's a difference. It's an important difference, but it is a difference. Inspired by the old Eldritch folklore tales from Old Earth. Oh, man. The visage. Aha! By not saying the word, I can get around it. The visage of Mind Devourers inspires terror and intense uneasiness. They are masters of the psychic arts, capable of projecting their mental powers and using their mind as a fearsome weapon. Devour the brains of their victims and extract valuable knowledge from them. Okay. Oh, hey, you're super immune. Isn't that something? And you are a baseliner. There's also a You've landed on the corpse of Juarez the engineer. Right then. Well, the perverse path? Excuse me? Oh, well, cannibals, sadists, and road. Yeah, okay. Well, you certainly believe in something there, donkey. Well, we're charitable, so fortunately we're gonna have to haul the corpses. The trees are gone. No! Well, we're gonna haul the corpse. Well, we're not gonna haul the corpses there then. We're gonna haul the corpses back to the Pond of Dreams. We are going to also rescue these people because we're charitable, and that's just the done thing. So Kalani, rescue Donkey, and Tropants, rescue Baron the Mind Devourer. What's going on here? Not very good in melee. Devour brains. Absorbing part of their intellect and gaining a buff that depends on the highest skill of the devoured brain. This obviously kills the target. Yeah, I should say. Got some face tentacles and ornate eldritch horns. Well then. Good thing you two landed where you did. We really don't want you to join us as it goes. If you do decide to join us, we're going to send you out to build an outpost. That is a weird looking dude. Dude? That is a weird looking lady. Well, you crashed in the right place at least. Yes, two completely normal people. Baran and Donkey. Rest well. This lab, I think, might be one of the most remodeled structures. Certainly in Cauliflower Valley, but also I think of anything I've ever done in this game. I don't think I've had to remodel something as often as I've remodeled this lab, but we've needed all of the additional space and expansions and everything else. So, you know, things that are required are things that are required. Just the way it goes. We could actually get a bit more space by, you know, pushing this corridor back a touch, but I kind of like the way it juts out. It's an aesthetic thing. A little bit of me that's wondering whether it's a good idea to have the school right next to the nuclear reactor as well, but you know what? It's fine. This is a normal place for normal people. Like Brenwyn. Completely normal, completely fine. Probably give you a melee weapon instead of that gun, Brenwyn. Although, actually, your shooting skill has gone up. Baron joins. Baron, I want you to understand. No. Donkey has the right idea. Donkey has decided to leave. Baron, are you actually any good is probably the question I should... You are fantastic at plants. But you're going to annoy everyone, aren't you? Because, you know, you're like... You got a guttural voice. An eldritch visage. You terrify other people to the core of their being, and you will always be despised. Any person without this gene will get a minus 500 social penalty towards people that have it. Wow. You've decided to join. I kind of like you, to be fair. It would be quite cool to have one of these things kicking about the place. Oh, I'm not too sure. You are really good at plants. You've actually got some capability of construction there as well, which we could make use of. Ah, oh, Baron. I'm not going to give you a name just yet, because I haven't decided. We haven't decided what to do with Baron yet. We've got, like, what, 2 kids on the way as well. Hooker's pregnant, Nacho's pregnant. How's Nacho getting on with that, actually? 3rd trimester, yeah, she's going to be popping fairly soon. And Hooker, I think, is less so, yeah. Athos, you're not pregnant, are you? No, that's fine. All right, Baron, you... Oh, you've even put a lab coat on. That is... You are cool looking, you know. Haven't decided yet, Baron, but maybe. That being said, Baron, if you are going to stay here, we're going to have to hit you with the stick. By the hit you with the stick, I mean Klaus going to come in here and talk you out of those weird beliefs that you've got. Immediately, in fact, as it goes, yes. You're going to stay here. You can think the correct way, or not at all. I love how you've just immediately started drinking all of our beer. That's definitely something, all right. I guess you have been through a harrowing ordeal, haven't you? Yeah, everyone's just always going to hate you. Well, what can you do? When you look like this, have you got much of a choice? To be fair, a certain other someone, this egg is actually Kerwin, a certain other someone looks the way they do, and have become quite a successful member of this place. So maybe, Baron, maybe you'll be alright. You're going to need a home as well. We're going to need to build another house. It's been a while since we built another house. Of course, I'm going to have to demolish the backup plan for hydroponics to fit it in. But that's fine. I don't think we're actually going to need it. We're doing okay on rice for now. We're sort of like stockpiling the rice whilst the corn diminishes. So... Maybe the long night will be over before all this is said and done, and it won't matter at all. It's been going on for 24 days. This space entity of unimaginable size really needs to get a wiggle on. Go somewhere else. Or we should send in a fleet to try and get rid of it. I'm still massively disappointed that nothing shows up here. Even though I know that's like such a ridiculous ask, but it would just be so cool to have like a whale here. So here's a question. You're repulsive and no one likes you, so how do you breed? I guess you just need to breed with another member of your xenotype, huh? What a weird question to ask. That's like another, I'm not trying to be like Professor Hojo here or anything. That's a Rimworld question. Like, how do you breed, Baron? How do you breed? Yeah. I'm a normal human being. Step completed. Perform 2 reactor scrams by testing the control rod system. Okay, we could do that. Farley, manage the reactor for us. We might as well test this out now. So, start, and then push that up. Let's see how far we can go, actually. If we're going to have to scram this anyway, we might as well, do some testing. So, the way this works is this bar on the right-hand side here is how much power is being generated. The more power is being generated, the more the turbine is going crazy, the more cooling is required. And the hotter it becomes. Right now it's at a nice and, relaxing 300 degrees in that reactor, but I think that's pretty good. If there's an emergency, we press the scram button, auto throttle disengages, and everything drops to 0. Everything gets pulled out. And radiation there only really gets emitted if the core itself is damaged. So once that temperature reaches a nice 0 again, there it is, 0 degrees. Let's start her up one more time. There go the controls. I actually love Ribatomics. It's really, really cool. I mean, this thing is pumping out 50 kilowatts. This is at half capacity right now, and it's pumping out a huge amount of power. Now, once this thing's switched on, we are good for power. And we can push it even higher if we were that way inclined. This is still missing 4 fuel rods as well, so there's more power available once those last 4 fuel rods get put in there. That's at 56% on the turbine. The turbine's probably going to be our limiting factor here. We push this up to, say, 65. How's the turbine going to look? Once this sets like 100%, or well, turns red, such as it says here, that's when we need to add in a second turbine. But right now, that's at what, 65%? Let's pump it up to... Yeah, come back, I'm busy playing with nuclear reactors. Let's push that up to 70. 75? Turbine's actually closing out at about 85% there, which is pretty good. And that's giving us 85 kilowatts of power. That's insane. Let's scram that for now, as we've been asked to do so. Watch everything go back down. And that should be our 2 scrams taken care of. Of course, it's not, because it actually needs a fully fueled set to 100% power. But hey, the important thing is that we know it works, and we've got 2 more control rods going in there before that thing's considered fully fueled. So we're almost home. Lianlu's on the job there. Once that's completed, we'll potentially break our reactor. Donkey, the believer in the perverse path, is fully healed and is now taking herself away from here. Farewell, sweet donkey. I wish you luck in your endeavors. Definitely normal. 1 more control rod to go. How's that getting on, actually? It's almost there. Are you kidding me? Lianlu left it with 1. Get over here and finish this. That was outrageous. It had a piece of work to do. Not even a numerical value at this point, Lianlu. Just a piece of work to do. What's the matter with you? You're supposed to be a hard worker. Go away. One thing that's probably worth mentioning here is a solar flare, such as this one, has become a little bit more dangerous for us. Shutting down all electrical devices means that the reactor cooling also goes offline, alongside, everything else. Fortunately, we can set this up to auto-scram in a scenario such as this, but something to keep an eye on, nevertheless. And as the solar flare ends, our reactor is ready to go. First task is to perform those 2 100% capacity scrams. So, switch that on, wait for these bars to fill to an alarming level, and then, just scram it. That should have worked. Take a look. Yes, that's 1 scram done. Perfect. Okay, let it cool back down. Good enough. Start it up again. And scram it 1 more time. That done the trick for us? Yes, step completed. Wonderful. Now we just need to analyze the data gathered and finalize the design for the new actuators. Perfect. Thank you very much. Couldn't have done that without you there, Farley. Now let's actually switch this thing on for real this time. So we'll start it out at 50%. It's in full capacity mode here. We've got full capacity on the control rod. So this is 21 going on. Starting it at 50% seems like the logical choice. Because I am concerned about the turbine. I mean, at 50% reactor capacity, it's already pushing the turbine up to 75%. It looks like it's going to stop out there. It's going to keep going. The good news is that our cooling is more than managing this. Our limiting factor is really going to be the turbine. Can we bring this to 60% then? That's going to really bring the turbine to its limit, I think. Let's drop it to 55% just to give it a little bit of leeway on the turbine there. Something like 20% margin for error is going to be more than fine. And there we go. That's pretty settled. Cooling at 32%, turbine running at 81%. It's a reasonable 315 degrees Celsius in there, and we're not emitting any radiation right now. And the lifespan on these rods looks to be about 3 years for the middle rod here, stretching out to 6 years for those on the furthest edges. So 3 to 6 years is pretty good. And that's going to be generating 88,000 watts of power, which means we can definitely well, maybe we shouldn't decommission these, actually. We should probably keep them as a backup plan in case, of an emergency. But for now, at least, we have officially gone nuclear. And isn't that just awesome? Definitely going to solve our power situation for at least a little while. And it's going to look cool as hell whilst doing so. It also means that we've got plenty of time to work on making sure that we can, well, give Farley that radiation suit, first of all. But more than that, find storage and things like that for the inevitable waste and so on and so forth. But we're not going to have any waste problems and things like that. We don't have to manage that for, well, until 5507, which, the long night might still be going on at that point. Who can say? Maybe Keisha can say. They've just had a growth moment. Let's see what's going on here then. So, Keisha's reached the biological age of 7. By learning about the universe, she's gained a number of new passions, and she hopes that by reading about science, she can end up making a difference in the world. Ain't that just adorable? 3 skills and a trait. You like your socializing, so we'll give you a passion in social. Passion in crafting would be quite nice. And another intellectual around these parts. Can't complain about that at all. Given the fact that, you've been reading about science and you want to make a difference in the world, I think intellectual, social, and crafting are the ways to go about that. Insofar as traits are concerned, could give you nimble, cold tolerant. You could be a prude or flirty, the direct polar opposites here, for sure. Coordinated would be quite good as well. You would find physical activities less stressful than your peers. Science and making a difference in the world. Well, you need to be coordinated to, be a scientist, apparently. I'm not going to try and justify it here this time, because I can't really think of a way of justifying any of these. So instead, we're just going to go with coordinated. Shooting accuracy, melee hit chance, and melee dodge chance go up by +2. And I think that's good enough. Well done there, Keisha. Ain't that something? You're just going to stand there? You don't have to stay. Yeah, thanks. Control rod actuators was finally completed, and we can now produce them at the Rimatomics machining table. We then need to shut down the reactor to install them. But any new reactors that we build will have them in as standard. So ain't that something? And we've unlocked high mech deck. I realized that we've had this power focus chip for ages and just hadn't analyzed it. So Hug had analyzed it and acquired the insight needed for high mech tech, which will eventually show up in our research. I only ended up realizing it because I was wondering when high mech tech was going to show up. It turns out, hopefully soon. Research as relating to Rimatomics is far from over, though. Up next, we're going to do an Atom, the Advanced Threat Detection module. And I think this is absolutely worth our time. We should also look at building those control rod actuators. So it's only going to take 4 components, which isn't so bad at all. Does mean that we're going to need to scram the reactor here, but that's fine. We could do that. And there they are already. Lianlu, quick as you like, has finished them. So up next, scram the reactor and get them installed. Farley, would you like to do the honours? Quick scram. All of that lovely power has now gone. Control rod actuator. Get that installed. Nacho, would you like to get on that? Oh, someone's already on it. Looks like Robot Buddy the Second's going to be the one doing that job, which is fine, actually. I think having a robot building things in a nuclear reactor is just exactly what we need around here. And there we go. What an upgraded nuclear reactor. So if we start that now... Oh, they go up a lot faster. Yeah. That's made this ever so slightly safer, shall we say. Let's just make sure that turning it back on with those in isn't going to do anything strange. And we're right back to where we left things off earlier on. Perfect. But you never thought you'd end up becoming a nuclear reactor technician when you originally joined us, did you? I've just noticed you've got a bum chin. It's the first day of summer, and the long night still continues. Quite glad that we ended up building those hydroponics, all said and done. We have got a little bit of corn left, but we've got a lot of mouths to feed here, and I'm not sure that the rice that we've currently got on the go is going to be enough. I think we probably need a second hydroponics facility as a sort of insurance policy, shall we say. Fortunately, we've now got the power to put one of these together and run it. The concern, actually, is our steel reserve is going to take yet another slamming hit from building all these hydroponics benches, but given the choice between having to recuperate the steel somehow, which we can really do just through mining, we've got the drills after all, and starving, I'm going to take the hit on the steel. It's, you know, seems like a reasonable thing. And a hit it is, because a single one of these costs us 2,400 steel. Goodbye, steel reserve. We never knew how important you were to us. Varan failed whilst constructing a hydroponics basin. Some resources have been wasted. What are you doing? Oh, that'll be what you're doing. You're trying your best. And you've got 39% manipulation. What's psychic insanity? This person has psychic powers that depend on their mood. Low mood equals higher break risk, but they get a psychic bonus. Okay. Well, if we're going to have you constructing, I want you constructing if you're going to be staying here. That means arms. You've really pulled a blinder by having your spaceship crash here, Baron. Let me tell you, we saved your life, and now, as you get covered by squares, we're going to give you some new arms. Finishing touches being done by Robot Buddy there. But now at least we have another hydroponics facility as the lights go out. I still don't know that we've got 2 children on the way as well, thanks to Huckett and Nacho. Well, I say thanks to Huckett and Nacho, you know, it takes 2 to tango after all. In this case, it takes 4 to tango. All said, we've still got 2 more mouths to feed on the way. And I don't know that this is going to be enough rice to hold us over. I'd really, really like it if the space whale... I've decided that this is a space whale, by the way. The space entity of an unimaginable size, it's a space whale. I'd really like it if it went away so we could start growing some corn again. Because this is a little scary. Our other option is we've got a large amount of... Well, actually, you know what? I'm not even going to finish that thought. Nacho, get down here. We've got work to do. Brief massacre later, and we've got some food coming in to balance out the rice and corn. Feels a bit bad having to massacre an entire herd of deer and doe. Oh, a psychic storm. Last time we had one of these, Nacho went all Highlander on us, and that caused problems. Let's see what goes on with this one. We've seen, this is our 3rd psychic storm, right? A supernatural psychic phenomena. Well, that's what we get for whatever this is. Welcome to the food chain. Humans are terrible. I will say the psychic storm is quite a cool event. It's a little bit you've just blown up our power. How very dare you. It's quite nice to have, like, a different type of thunderstorm. And it doesn't necessarily cause fires. It helps with the fact that there are just no trees here anymore, because once upon a time this was a forest, and then a space whale came. But yeah, it's quite a cool event. I like it a lot. What better day to go by the Great Devourer graveyard and wander around in the middle of it? There's a friggin' cube here. There's 2 cubes here. How did I miss these? I don't believe it. Aethel. Don't tell anyone about this, Aethel. We never saw them. They were never here. Senalf Mech Hive are attacking us immediately and intend to breach our walls. Well, there's not really many of you. You're not going to do a good job here, are you? What have you sent? A termite. Medium-sized mechanized, specialized in burrowing, digging, and breaking through structures. Ah, well, you have brought the noise, at least. There's only 5 of you, though. I don't see it happening, lads. Who do we even send out on this? Aethel hasn't been in a fight since he woke up, actually. So yeah, sure. Let's go, folks. Question really is where are they going to try getting into us from? They did say it was attacking immediately as well, so... yeah, don't come here at the moment, you Imperial lot. Oh, it's going straight for the wall there. Whoa, that did a lot of damage, actually. Okay. Good news is that the squad are here. Let's go. Fire and focus up. Here goes. Aethel, you're on point. Athos, gonna need a guided shot from you on that Lancer. Perfect. Send it. Well, you didn't send it, but it's gonna be sent, right? Aethel, yes, good job. Okay. Move around. Hucket's here too, right? Yeah, there she is. Get in on that, Aethel. You guys can deal with the Scyther. Hucket can deal with the Scyther. I don't really want Aethel attacking a Scyther, but he's gonna. And the Scyther's stunned, so it's fine. Okay, come back, come back, come back. It's almost through. Holy crap! That has done a number on our wall. Let it not be said otherwise. Okay, could you go and just stop that termite from wrecking the place with a little bit of one of these guys? There we go. All right, Athos. You know what? Just go away. I don't want you chucking those EMP grenades when Athel's nearby. You can come back now. Good job, squad. Aethel, put these fires out. Well, I wasn't expecting it to manage to deal that much damage, actually. I'm genuinely impressed. I don't know that we've even got enough granite to repair the entire lot of this, either. In fact, we don't. Or do we? Yeah, I don't think we do. Young drifters request aid. 700 silver. Oh, for goodness sake. They want the silver because their friend was kidnapped. Well, you know something? That's just what happens. Of course, we're charitable, so we'll give it to you. Clav, go and... Oh, God, they're all... tiny children. The state of this. What? Why? There's so many of them. There's 11 children here. Be on your way. This place, whilst friendly, is currently quite dangerous. We're in the middle of a long night and there's a psychic storm going on. It's not the place to be, really. You must really like your friend. The psychic storm is over, and we didn't actually get attacked this time. Well, we did, but it was the mechanoids, not the usual suspects. Mechanoids who took a chunk out of our wall. It's got to be said. Athos and Hazel's wedding has finally arrived, and they've opted to get married in Hucket's throne room, which I guess is fine. Hucket must have agreed to this. So hey, there you go. Hazel and Athos. Together forever. Athos is... Why have you got blood on you? What happened? Oh, well... it's all kicking off. Hazel and Athos are supposed to be getting married, but, you know, Nacho's in labour. So how about we go for a bit of that? And I don't think Dr. Kerwin... Oh, it's going to have to be Dr. Kerwin, I guess. Wait, why? Oh, because of the wedding. The wedding is... She's off. The wedding is stopping us from being able to have the proper doctor and Aethel present for the childbirth. And she's just going. She's away. Well, please hurry up and get married, Hazel. Please hurry up and get married, Athos. We've got a baby to deliver. Isn't this a happy occasion for everybody? Oh, just to add to the jubilations, the Imperium have been able to get rid of one of the destroyers as well. So ain't that something? Yes, good job. You're married. Everyone's celebrating. Nacho is currently in labour. Can we gather? No, we still can't gather. Everyone's celebrating. For goodness sake. Priorities, right? Priorities. She's made it quite far, considering she can barely move due to, again, must stress this, Nacho is in labour. The father of her child is currently celebrating the wedding of Athos and Hazel alongside her doctor. In fact, the two of them are here. They're fine. They're having a great time of things. Chatting about friendly engineers and board games. Oh, well, that's Brenwan talking to Apprehension about board games, actually. Athel's not really talking to anybody. I mean, in fairness to the lad as well, he is a psychopath. This is probably just a normal day at the office for him, all said and done. And she's down. Labour's gone into final stages. She's not in a frigging hospital. What can we do about this? Kerwin, are you about? Yes, you're not at the wedding. You're normal. Please go and rescue Nacho and get her to hospital, for goodness sake. This is actually quite bad because she might have a problematic childbirth as a result of this. I mean, can you blame her? She's outside being, oh, it's healthy. It's fine. What disaster. She's just chucked a baby out. Just as the ceremony for Athos and Hazel finishes. What a way to be welcomed to the world. Well, oh, it's got the Nacho 2 gene there as well. This is going to be baby Cherry Aethelus Cybert. Aethel and Nacho's second child. Alongside, who was their first again? Was it Apprehension? It was Apprehension, yes. Brother and sister. There we go. Good job. What did you actually pick up? Nothing. You picked up nothing. You're all just walk. Thank you, Sinatra. At least one of you's a normal human being. Not that crib though. I know where you're taking it. No. This crib. Or you're just moving it into here anyway? Because Yep. She still hasn't actually made it to the hospital. The baby is being looked after by Sinatra. Aethel is nowhere to be seen. And only now has Nacho just been put down into a hospital bed. At least she's fine. Good job, Kerwin. Oh, reliable Kerwin. What an absolute gentleman and scholar you are. Oh, now everyone cares. Right, Kalani? Now you care. Now that Athos and Hazel are happily married. Are you alright? You've got a shattered nose. That's probably where... How did this happen? A crack. Oh, okay. Sad youngsters. Well, I wonder why that is. It was born here. This is where Aethelus entered the world. Wow, that's a big mood boost for getting married, though. Super duper in love there. 100 around, all around. You really don't like Baron, though, which is understandable because, well, the state of him. Welcome to the world, Aethelus. You might have been born under some strange circumstances, but you're here now, and that's fine and normal, and honestly just a regular day here. So you started off strong, to be entirely honest with you. There's no surprises after this point, and not like you're going to remember what happened, which is probably for the best, because I imagine that would leave some scarring. Our food situation is actually fine, I think. We've got a lot of raw meat there, we've got lots of rice. We still actually have corn as well, so I think this is going to be okay. Are you really... Like, you're going to get hypothermia, you realize this, right? What is a timeless one? A teenager is approaching the colony. He has a strange air of confidence about him, and he wants to talk. Oh, good grief. Hello there. Let me guess. You want to join us? Well, Clav's going to come and talk to you. Yeah, don't stay up the laneway. Don't come in here. Rit is barely more than a child, but in his thoughtful eyes you sense an ancient wisdom. When he speaks, the words seem to come from an unnatural knowledge of endless time. He says that the stars brought him here to fulfill his destiny, and he wants to stay with us and help. He may be useful, but there is potentially something he's not telling us. Now, the last time we sent one of these away, we had to kill it. Well, we had to kill that person 7 times or whatever it was. I just don't know that we can feed another mouth. But I'm curious about this particular person. And I mean, let's be honest, right? An unnatural knowledge of endless time. The stars brought him here to... Welcome aboard. Great. Welcome to Cauliflower Valley. The thing is, Rit, you're in the same boat as Baron right now. I'm not sure if you're going to be hanging around for too long. Irrespective of all that, though, get hit with the stick. Are you any good? What's your situation? How are you? What's your deal? You're heat inclined, you're an occultist, and you're disturbing. Talking to you is often upsetting. Well, that's not very helpful, is it? At least you believe in the right thing now. You're not really good at much of anything, but you've got that passionate intellectual we'll take advantage of. Welcome to Cauliflower Valley, you creepy thing, you. I'm sure by inviting you in, we've done the right thing. Mech did show up in our research tree, and has since finished. We can now create and control high-tier mechanoids, and build a mech band dish tier 3, and summon a Apocatron for a nanostructuring trip. Cool! What does that actually mean that we can build, though? Large mech gestator, first of all. We can now build centipedes? We could build a Diabolus, holy moly. I suppose, actually, it's these Sanguinaris. I see. And what about small? Anything new here? Paramedic, Fabricor. Oh, a crafter. That's kind of cool. And a Culinaris, which has an insane work speed and 15 cooking skill. That's kind of awesome, actually. But we'd need a subcore rip scanner here in order to get those high cores. And this destroys any brains that we put into it. You alright, V's? How you doing? And that's the real trick, isn't it? I just don't think we're that type of people. Hookett's a little bit loopy, it's true, but I don't know that she'd be willing to, you know, melt someone's brain Honestly, it's kind of like, it's quite monstrous when you really think about it, isn't it? You rip someone's brain out so you can build a robot that can cook you meals. Not sure what I think about that. Gussin. You actually just fallen asleep in the doorway to the freezer, you absolute idiot. Get out of there. What's the matter with you? I hate you immediately. You know that. I hate you immediately. Yeah, sleep there instead. That's fine. We will build you a house. This is an insane. We got 20 people, with one more on the way, might I add. In the midst of all that nonsense, though, Zed has reached the biological age of 13 and experienced another growth moment. Zed enjoys studying rocket science, but most of all, loves having adventures with imaginary friends. Oh, well, you've got some skills there, Zed. Holy moly. You know what, then? Let's double down on the shooting. It's a shame you didn't get that passion in social. I guess we'll just double down on those two. And then your third and final passion, medical, I suppose. If surely the study of rocket science has lent itself to that a little bit. Do you know something? You're muscular, you're tough. That requires a lot of food. That requires a lot of upkeep. You can't just go around being muscular and tough without that upkeep. You are now also ravenous. And an adult. You've thrown the child clothing off and grown up whilst you're in bed, which is, you know, honestly, like, as far as I could go at describing how to spend a birthday, this would be it. This right here. Maybe not this right here, because, you know, I don't know that I'd want to live this close to a nuclear reactor, personally. But he's got the right idea, does Zed. He's got the right idea. Going back to the high mech tech briefly, I think we will add to the to-do list that we want to summon a Apocryton at some point. I'm sure that'll provide us with some additional technological marvels. Probably worth doing. But at the end of another fairly eventful time of it, we will call it a day. The long night has now lasted 32 days and doesn't appear to be going anywhere anytime soon. We've introduced Baran, Rit, and Aesolus to the colony, two of which were unplanned for. I'm not certain on keeping Rit and Baran around. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. I'll have a think about it. Zed's grown up, become an adult. Should probably look at getting him an actual weapon at some point. I'll just arm Zed. There we go. And we completed our nuclear reactor. It has definitely been a time of it. But as the fires in the north rage and construction on yet another abode finalizes completion, no thanks to Rit, I think we'll call things a day. Thank you very, very much, as always, for joining me. And I will see you next time. Until then, take care.